Love Dallas. Love the Dallas Cowboys.
Woo!
I was told to do that. So yeah, I'm excited about sharing with you today. And my goal is to share some ideas with you today that will hopefully give a positive impact on your life and take away something from this that can help you in your business and help you in your life. The ideas that I'm going to share today took me from about 10 million in sales to 123 million in sales. I'm going to talk about that more in a minute. But these ideas that I'm going to share can take you from 2 to 4 sales, 4 to 8 sales, 8 to 16, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, 500. Okay, so wherever you're at, hopefully I'm going to share something today that will help you to get to the next level. Is that all right? Say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. So, I am Chad Goldwasser, founder and CEO of Goldwasser Institute. That is my teaching and training and leadership company that I started about 5 years ago. I'm super passionate about sharing ideas and helping people reach the next level in their business. I also have a real estate company, Goldwasser Real Estate. I am the founder of that and what's called the Chief Inspiration Officer because they couldn't figure out anything else to help me. So, a little bit about my history and where I've been. This is credibility building, right? So, I've been in the real estate business now for 16 and a half years. I started when I was 24 years old. I was working behind a bar down in Austin, Texas called Trudy's. Awesome bar. I was making drinks. I was earning $2.17 an hour, and I was worth every penny. And I made good drinks. Really good drinks. I still make good drinks. So, but what happened was I got into the real estate business and I got very fortunate and I found a mentor that changed my life dramatically. And in a very short time, I was able to go from earning $2.17 an hour to these paradigm shifts in my life that created opportunity that I could have never even imagined. And I shared a lot of that with your leaders last night, pretty in depth. And I'm not going to go really in depth to it today. Let's just say I got lucky. I worked my butt off, and I had great mentors, and I learned from people that shared great ideas with me. And so that's my goal today. But what happened was I was with a company called Remax for 7 years, and started growing my team, and started getting really invested and excited about developing my leadership. And talking with your leaders last night, they're very interested in that. So what happened was I went from Remax over to a company called Keller Williams. And we were doing about 200 sales at the time. I wanted to go to 100 million in sales, and I wanted to grow really bad. And Keller Williams was the place that was going to allow me to do that. So in about a 4-year period, we grew from almost 6 people to 70 people. We went from 180 sales to 543 sales. Been in the business 16 and a half years. In my 3rd year with Keller Williams, which was 2008, when we did 123 million in sales, we had the #1 sales team worldwide. Okay? And just so you know, anything I'm sharing with you today is not bragging or patting myself on the back. This is what happened. And it was because I surrounded myself with great people and I listened to great ideas. In Austin, we were the #1 sales team for about 3 years prior to us launching our company. And I started having these paradigm shifts, and I'm going to talk more about those today. But I went to a seminar a long time ago with my mentor, and he and I were sitting there, and we were learning scripts and dialogues, and we were learning about mindset and such. And there was a guy there, and he just had his first $100,000 month. He's a guy named Sean Kokoska, incredible leader. And I was sitting there with my buddy, and he said, he looked at me. He'd been in the business 20 years. He said, "I've been in the business 20 years. I've never had a $100,000 a month." We set that as a goal. My team broke that goal in about 2005, but then I wanted to break that goal myself. Personally, I wanted to have a $100,000 a month because I thought that would be fun. So in June of 2009, I'd been cranking, and I had my best month ever. I closed 22 deals. It was about $6 million in sales and about $180,000 in commissions. I didn't keep all that because I pay a split to my company too, but I kept a good portion of it. That was really fun. Formed my own brokerage in 2008, Goldwasser Real Estate in Austin now, and this is what I'm most proud of, is we have the best statistics out of any of the major brokerages. Lowest days on market, highest list price to sales price ratio, right? So for like 13 years of my career, I'm like on this skyrocket, right? And I feel totally invincible. Like, I'm like, I felt good, right? I had a crystal clear vision of exactly what I wanted to do with my life. And what happened was, there was this woman that worked for my company. She was our controller. And I didn't trust her a whole lot. She was handling all the money. And I remember on October 22nd, 2009, I was on a vacation in Newport Beach, California with my family. And I came back to our condo. And my wife is on her computer, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm looking at emails. And I'm like, okay, what you looking at? And she's like, I'm looking at checks. And I'm like, I like checks. She's like, you're not gonna like these. Over the course of a 3-year period, my controller stole over $500,000 from me, and she didn't pay my payroll taxes, so she left me with about a $300,000 tax bill. That hurt. So that was like the first chink in the armor, right? Invincibility's gone. So I was like, okay, well, I know how to make money. I can recover from this. And what happened then was, because of that, about 3 months later, I lost one of my top agents. She'd been with me for about 5 years, great agent, good leader, and within 6 months, she had recruited away almost half of my agents. This was 2010. And then in the midst of that, right, so there, all of a sudden I got like embezzlement, I'm losing all my agents, I'm like, invincibility, gone. And then, in May of 2010, the girl that I met when I was 11 years old, started dating when I was 13, married when I was 23, had 3 children with, built a company with, she and I decided that we were going to separate. And 3 months later, she decided that she didn't want to be married to me anymore. And that was tough. So what he was mentioning before, the other tough part about it was she was my chief operating officer of my company. So I was okay up until about April of 2011. And I had built my career on this positive energy, positive attitude, focus, driven, nothing could stop me, And in April of that year, I got pissed off, angry, sad. I got super depressed, and basically for a year, I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about the company. I didn't care. I'm passionate about music. I would go to concerts. There was no joy. At certain points, to be completely honest, I didn't even want to be here. So that was tough. And then my business, I was fortunate that I've been doing this for 13 years, and so I still made good money. But my business, it was like I had a CEO running the company, I had other people managing things, but they were like, we needed the energy, and I didn't have it. I didn't know what I was going to, I didn't think I was ever going to come out of it. My energy was totally gone. And then I was very thankful that I had my loyal agents and such, okay? So on February 14th, Valentine's Day of 2012, what happened, yeah, Valentine's Day of 2012, my ex-wife now, who I had not really spoken to in a year, basically. I mean, it was very awkward at the office, let's just say. She came over to the house and she was like, she came in, she dropped off the kids, and she's like, hey, I know you don't want to talk to me, but Aiden, my 9-year-old at the time, gave me a card. He cut it in half. He wanted to give you the other half, but he decided not to give it to you. And she said, you need to see it. And I was like, okay. She gives it to me, and she said, don't let him know that I gave it to you. And this is the card. So it's got a little heart on the front, real cute, right? And I opened it up, and this is what it said. Dear Daddy, Momda has the other half of this card. To make Valentine's Day fun, you two have to get together with Momda, glue the card together, then return it to me with both of your signatures on it. P.S. Getting together at work doesn't count. Sincerely, Aiden, you are the best dad ever. That was like a wake-up call. I was like, I'm ruining my life. I'm hurting my kids. I'm wasting my potential. And it was like a switch went off. And all of a sudden, I was like, this is enough. You know, plenty of people go through this stuff. Everybody goes through this stuff, right? Life, up, down, up, down. And so I just got re-energized. I got my vision back. I got more excited. I was more focused. I was more driven. Business has started to grow again. And now our company's growing. More and more agents are coming to our company. We've had massive growth, and it's been amazing. So that's a quick version of my story. Okay? So the reason I share that with you is I'm just like you. I mean, everybody has this stuff. So what I did to get to those levels is very simple. And I'm going to share with you some simple steps that can take you to the next level. Simple steps. Not easy, but simple. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Say yes. Thank you. Okay, so my goal, share, inform, help, inspire to positively impact your life. That's my goal every single day. Make a positive impact on the lives of everyone I touch. So there's 5 key areas that I'm going to cover today, and it's a lot, okay? So like I said, if you can just take 1 or 2 things away, that's what I want. But I'm going to share it all with you, okay? The 5 key areas: create a business and a life plan, build a lead generation machine, master your craft, build your infrastructure, and then develop your mindset and your attitude. So number 1, step 1, create a business and a life plan. I was talking with Phil last night, and we were talking about vision and how important it is to have a clear vision, right? So I learned this pretty early on. And Napoleon Hill said this, that all riches of whatever nature begin as a state of mind. And that is the only thing that we have control over. So you have to see things before you can create them. So what I do is I started utilizing this idea. It's called creating your utopia. Okay? So if you want to know where you're going, right, I like to brainstorm and think about things and create this vision for my future. So creating my utopia is basically this. I'll sit down, and I did this, I went through this exercise this morning, just so you know, just so I could share with you kind of what my utopia would be. But what you do is you sit down, and you take out a pen, and I use pad of paper. You can use your iPad, you can use your computer, whatever. And I create this utopia of what my life will look like in 20 years, right? Okay, so I push it out 20 years. I'm 40 years old right now. That means I'm going to be 60 in 20 years, right? I know you thought I was younger. So here's what you do. You just basically put your life out there and don't be afraid of what you say, and put it out there. Like in 20 years, your life could be just amazing and incredible and wonderful. what would it look like, right? So here's what I wrote this morning, okay? And this is an exercise that I would suggest you go through if you want to get to the next level. This is the first step, right? Because we need to know where you want to go. So what I wrote this morning was, I'm 60 years old and life is amazing. I've spent my life studying, learning, and growing as a leader, a speaker, and a positive example to my family, my friends, and my peers, and it's paid off big time. I've become a world-renowned teacher of leadership and personal growth. My companies are thriving. My life is filled with an abundance of joy and good fortune. I've always stayed true to my mission of positively impacting the lives of everyone I touch. I've encouraged the people that I've come into contact with and have helped them to create lives that some before never thought possible. I have the most amazing relationship with my kids, and they are thriving. Mason, my 12-year-old, is 32 and a productive leader in his own right. Aiden is 30 and continues to be an incredible person with the most beautiful smile, and Sammy has become an amazing woman full of happiness, and she brings that to everyone around her. We still have one family vacation every year to some of the most incredible destinations on the planet, and I am able to fund it all. The boys and I have one super fun adventure trip each year. Mountain biking, surfing, climbing, or doing something outrageous and fun. I wake up in the mornings at my beautiful home on the lake here in Austin. I go for an energizing morning run, get focused on having an awesome day. I get back home and have my morning coffee and breakfast, then leave down to my private study down by my boat dock. I spend an hour reading and studying and creating ideas that I can share with people to help them with their lives. My life is set. I have no worries about money at all. My bank accounts are full. I have incredible people surrounding me that handle every aspect of my life so that I can be free to do what I want to do. Goldwasser Real Estate is a nationally recognized brand, and we are considered the Nordstroms, the Neiman Marcus, the Four Seasons of the real estate industry. Our agents are the happiest, most productive, and most servant-hearted in the planet. You get it? So just take your life and push it out, right? And then from there, so then you have a clear vision of what you want, right? We were talking about it last night. You have to, Phil really believes in this. You have to have a clear vision. Here's what I want, right? So then, from there, what you do is you cull it down to a clear, concise goal, right? So, in order to be, one of my goals is to write a #1 New York Times best-selling book. I didn't share that part. I cut that out. But so, if I want to be a #1 New York Times bestseller in 20 years, what do I have to do today? Start writing, right? So you have this big vision of what you want, whether that be 50 or 20 or 100 sales or whatever it is you want to do with your life. Then you cull it down and you create these simple steps that you need to take today to move to that level, right? So you cull it down to that clear, concise goal. And then you create your business plan to get there. So I wish we had an hour to just talk about business planning. And I'm going to ask you to raise your hand if you have a business plan in here. Does anyone have a business plan? Raise your hand high. Okay. Good job. So I learned about this probably 12 years ago. I was at a RE/MAX awards banquet, and this guy named Rick DeLuca came in, and he said, who in here has a business plan? And about one person raised their hand, and I raised my hand and I said, I plan on making a lot of money. And he was like, idiot. I realized how stupid it was after I said it, but he said, do you have that written down? I said, no. He said, okay, well, that's the first step. I bought everything that he had on business planning, and I created my first business plan. So what you do is you take that 20-year vision, and then you cull it down to, okay, what do I have to do today to get to that goal, right? So in June of last year, I created this business plan for June of last year. I wanted to close 20 transactions in the year. So what you do is you take, so I go 20 years, and then I come back to 10, and then I come back to 5, 3, 1, right? And so I'm still actively selling real estate. Okay, I was just on a listing appointment 2 days ago. I still actively sell. I still have to sell real estate, and I still love it. So last year, I wanted to sell 20 homes in June. So what you do is you break it down, right? I needed to sell 18 listings, averaging 300,000. That's 5,400,000 in sales volume. 2 buyers sold, which average 350 is 700,000. Total commissions of 183,000. And then I took it and I said exactly what do I have to do. So these are the steps. The next thing you do is you create your steps. And so with my past client sphere of influence marketing, here's what I created as my steps. I am calling all of my current clients once a week on Mondays for 1 hour at 9 a.m. updating and asking for referrals. I am calling 15 sphere of influence past clients on Tuesdays from 9 to 10. I am prospecting 1 to 3 p.m. Monday through Thursday. I am holding 2 open houses per month. I am time blocking all of my activities with dollar productive activities. I schedule 1 sphere of influence per week. Promotion and prospecting, I am writing handwritten notes, 5 per day. I am expanding my sphere of influence, 5 per week. I am farming and calling into my neighborhoods that I farm. So those are specific steps. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So once you have the specific steps, then you just keep this in front of you constantly. Right? About probably 99% of people in this world know that you should have a goal, right? About 5% of people have a written goal. It's supposed to be written, right? So maybe 5%, I don't know if that's the actual number or not. 99.8% of all statistics are made up anyway. So about 2% of the people in this world write down their goals and they stare at them every single day. That's what I suggest you do, because I forget stuff, right? So you stare at it constantly. You create that business plan, you make it simple, clear, and you stare at it constantly. And this is a copy of mine, and because Melinda's so awesome and she brought me up here, give her a hand for that. I'll get her a copy of this and she can send it out, and you can copy it if you want. But then in there you include your why and your vision and your goals, the focus areas, and then the specific tasks to drive those areas and get to the goal that you're looking to get to, okay? And then you time block those things. So if you're not time blocking things like prospecting and obviously open houses, things of that nature, then everything else can get in the way, you know? Prospecting is the most easiest thing to be like, I just don't have time for that today, right? I mean, but it's the most important thing that you can ever do for your business. Lead conversion, lead follow-up, prospecting. Those are the things that will create success in your business. And we're going to talk more about mastering lead conversion in a second. So that's the first step. Create a business and a life plan. Got it?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so become a lead generation machine. In growing, leads are important, right? Leads are super important. We need leads, but we also need to be great lead converters. So I was out in Moab, Utah. I loved a mountain bike, and this was like 12 years ago, and I started, for some reason I was on my bike and I was cruising along down these massive rocks and stuff. It's really awesome. And as my tire was hitting these rocks, I'm like, this tire is really strong, and what makes it strong? And I thought about it, and I'm like, the spokes of the wheel. And so I started, for some reason, thinking about my business. And so I started thinking about lead generation and what were the spokes in my wheel of lead generation that made my business strong? Because lead generation makes your business super strong. So I started thinking about all the different ways that I could lead generate. What are some of the ways in here that you lead generate? Calling prospects. Calling your sphere of influence. Great.
Actually go out and meet them.
Go out and meet them? Who specifically?
I meet either current clients or future clients with the current client.
Excellent.
Go after them that way. And I meet them at a specific restaurant that I'm giving business to on a regular basis.
Referrals.
Referrals? From who?
From past clients, because I was a little rep prior to, and
Yeah.
friends, and neighbors, and co-workers that I've worked with previous.
Awesome. What else? Anybody else? Lead generation? Farming? Okay, great. Someone said something crazy.
A lot of neighborhoods that you want to sell them.
walking the neighborhoods?
Introduce yourself.
Wow, that's crazy. So what I did was I sat down and I looked at what was I doing that was creating the business. And the first thing was your sphere of influence, right? Said back there and here. This is no money involved, right? It doesn't cost you anything to call your friends and your family and people you know on the phone, right? It's pretty tough though sometimes, isn't it? So that's the first place I started. And then for me it was prospecting. Because prospecting was free. And I didn't have to pay to market myself. And it was proactive, and it was aggressive, and it was not reactive. It was creative. But I had to discipline myself to do that. So the biggest challenge with prospecting, though, for a lot of people is, A, just doing it. So I created a system for myself, because a lot of times what would happen is, what happens with prospecting is you want to do it, right? You wake up in the morning, you're like, I should prospect today. And then all of a sudden you get to the office and you're like, I gotta get on that email. Get on the email and start dealing with the email, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna prospect now. So you get all ready, you sit down, you look at the phone, and all of a sudden your phone goes off, and you're like, oh, someone needs my text. And then you're getting ready, and you're ready to pick up the phone, and you're like, and then you come back and you're ready to go now, but there's 5 emails, so you deal with those. Hour and a half of prospecting turns into 2 phone calls, right? So I created this system for myself. I call it a 6-point prospecting focus system. I schedule my prospecting. Right, for me, it is 1 to 2:30, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's the same time every week, 4 days per week. I go potty before I prospect, just to make sure I'm going to be okay and I can focus. Because here's what's really amazing is if you just did 30 minutes of prospecting in a day, it'll change your business. If you just call for 30 minutes, it'll change your business. So the idea is I want you to be totally focused for those 30 minutes. Practice your script. Who in here loves scripts and dialogues? Okay.
I do them, but I hate them.
Why do you hate them?
Well, I say I hate them. I don't follow them. I learn the information from them.
Yeah.
And then I utilize them. But I will tell you, you have to use them. However you use them, you have to use them.
She hates them, but she says you have to use them. Why do you hate them?
I've struggled with this for 8 years. It doesn't feel like me when I learn them.
Yeah.
I'm in Keller Lane, so I'm force fed a lot of scripts, and I believe it, and I know they work, and I hear myself saying it kind of unconsciously sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm grossed out by it. But,
Yeah.
but it just doesn't feel like me. But I get that it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to me, I'm not a salesman, right? I don't think of myself as a salesman. I think of myself as a sales leader. My job is to lead people to make the right decision to work with me. Because I believe if they don't work with me, they're going to get hurt financially. Because my belief is that I'm the best in the world at what I do. That's not conceit or arrogance. Please don't take it that way. It's what I believe, and it pushes me to be great, right? So, scripts are all about helping you lead people to make the right decision to work with you. So, we'll talk more about that in a minute. Clear your desk. Shut off your world. Email down, phone, text off, no cell phone, no email, no distractions, and then pick up the phone and dial until you hit your goal. Okay? So that's my 6-point prospecting system. 99.9%, that's a real statistic, will never prospect. Your competition does not prospect. They don't follow up. So if you can do that, I mean, just take that away and we can be done. Are we good? Okay. All right, open houses. Who in here loves open houses? Raise your hand. All right, so I've spoken and shared this idea across the country, and everywhere I go, people are like, open houses don't work. I hate open houses. I get that. I love open houses. Every single person that walks into an open house that I do, what's that? They're a prospect, but they end up doing business with me. It's weird. That's my mindset. So I learned super early on that open houses were really productive for me, and I focused on them. And it is a free way to advertise yourself, your company, and to drive leads into your business. So I still do open houses. 16 and a half years in business, over 1,200 closed transactions at this point. I still do open houses. So the reason people don't like them is they don't have a system. So I'm going to share with you a system, and I'll just ask you, at some point, get out of your comfort zone. I mean, most people don't like open houses because they don't want to work on a Sunday, or they don't have a good script, or they put one sign in front of the house, right? So here's my system. Advertise it in the MLS, Realtor.com, everywhere. Make sure on Facebook, make sure everybody knows about the open house. But where do most of your people come from at open houses? Now a lot of it's the internet, but where would you say most of your people?
Neighborhood
Signs.
signs,
So, when I worked with James Willoughby, he taught me 3 days into working with him. He came up and I was putting out a sign for an open house, and he's like, put one here, and here, and put one here, and here, and here, and here. And he taught me massive signs. So at my company, at Goldwasser Real Estate, 15 signs per open house. There was 2 agents that did an open house out in Steiner Ranch the other day, and they texted me because they put out 42 signs. They're like, what's the record? I'm like, that's it. That is it. They had about 25 groups through. So massive signs. And one quick thing about signs as well is, okay, let's say this is a major roadway right here, okay? And then here's where you want them to go right, okay? Most agents, a traditional real estate agent, will put their sign right on the corner right there, right? Where people are going 85 coming through, right? Go back like 150 yards. Put your first sign pointing right here. Go up about 100 yards, so 50 yards back from the corner. Put your next one there. Now they can see it before they cruise by, right? Okay? And then make sure that signage is key. And what else is going to happen, and what happened to one of my agents about 2 weeks ago, was these people came to his open house and they're like, signs out there. They're like, we've been to a few open houses and nobody is advertising like you guys are. They're like, we're thinking about selling our home. We'd like to interview you and talk to you. Just one little thing. So makes sense, doesn't it? Massive signs. Specific scripts. I use what I call the 7-point conversion method. I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. Sign-in sheets. I have a book that I use that it's got a survey in it. It's got the MLS information on the property. It's got the seller disclosure in the survey. It's got the seller's disclosure notes. And it's got comparable properties that are in the neighborhood. Everybody that comes in my open house, I ask them to please sign in. And the seller wants to know that I was working today. So, and they want to know what you think about the property. You don't have to give me all your information unless you want to, but I'd love to serve you. Okay? So have sign-in sheets. And then complete market knowledge. So, how many homes are on the market in all of Dallas right now?
43,000, son.
What's the number?
23,000.
According to your MLS, and this is information I got from her, so 2,900 29,944 homes on the market. How many sales are pending currently in Dallas? 10,419. How many closed in the past 6 months? 53,206. So if you look at that, on average in Dallas there are 8,867 homes selling per month, right? And if there's 29,944 homes on the market, that's 3.37 months of inventory. 1 to 4 months is a seller's market, right? 4 to 6 is a neutral market. 6 months or more is a buyer's market, right? So we're in a slight seller's market here, right? In Cullen County, 3,204 active listings, 1,607 pending, 8,720 sales in the past 6 months. That's 1,453.33 per month. That's 2.2 months of inventory. In Cullen County, you're in a good seller's market. Would you agree? So, traditional real estate agent, right? They're over here. A great, legendary, amazing agent that turns people into clients at an open house knows this stuff. Knows this stuff. Knows how many other homes are on the market in that particular neighborhood. In my neighborhood of Circle C, there's 27 homes on the market right now. 4,500 total homes. Past 6 months, there's been 250 sales. There's 27 homes on the market. Guess how many I've seen? 27 of them. I look at every property that comes on the market in the neighborhood that I work in, because then I am a market expert, and someone walks into my open house, guess who they want to work with? When I tell them, if this house doesn't work, there's one down the corner, it's on Sheffield Drive. That one is 2,800 square feet. It's got 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, it's got wood floors, it's got a big backyard. It just came on the market 3 days ago. It's listed at $375,000. After my open house, if you'd like, I'd be glad to show it to you. So, be a market expert. Systematize for maximum lead generation. Once you get their information, the day after, send them a follow-up. Maybe an email, for sure an email. If they give you their email address, and then if they gave you their address, personal note. I love personal notes. Yes?
Can I ask a quick question? So, at the end of your open house, if you offer to take someone out,
Yes.
do you get a buyer rep sign? I mean, it seems kind of awkward, but you want to do that. But if you're just showing them one house, it's probably not that big of a deal. But how do you handle that?
Everybody that I work with signs a buyer's rep.
Right.
But if someone wants to go see a house after an open house, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build rapport and share knowledge and create value, and then.
So do you ask them to sign one before you show them that one house?
No.
Okay, so that's the exception to the rule.
Correct. Good question. Okay, open houses. Networking, this is key. I don't know if you noticed this morning, but as you walked in, I had the great opportunity to say hello to you, right? And hopefully, I smiled at you and gave you a good handshake and made a positive impact. Everybody you meet, do your best to make a positive impact on them. That's my goal every single morning. I wake up and I say to myself, it's an awesome day, and I will positively impact the lives of everyone I touch today. And today, guess who I thought of? Y'all. Make a positive impact on everyone you touch. Negative people drive people away. Positive people attract. When I was in that year of depression and negativity, nobody wanted to be around. I didn't want to be around me. Have a goal to meet a new person every day. I met 2 new great people last night. Well, I met you before, but met that guy last night. Now I met you guys. And I am sincerely thankful that you're here. Right? There's a lot of people that could have come and they didn't. So, good job. Join groups, Toastmasters, B&I. Toastmasters, Rick DeLuca told me about as well. I joined it like 10 years ago. It helped me not only to become a better presenter and notice the way that I spoke and the way that I moved my body, but the words that I used. And when you're presenting to a buyer or seller, you need to keep them engaged. So, Toastmasters, I joined it to become a better presenter and such, but all of a sudden everybody knew I was in real estate because all I talked about was real estate. Ask permission to add people to your database. Send a personal note out to those people. Keep in touch. Lunches, phone calls, emails. This is your job. Lead generation. And build a strong network. for sale by owners, expired listings, past client referrals with past clients. I think you guys have a database system, is that correct?
Correct.
You have a database system?
Yes, we do.
Good job. Have to have a database. If you don't have a database where you put your past clients and such, you're wasting a lot of money, because these people become buyers in the future, sellers in the future, and you can market to these people, right? So with your past clients and stuff, put them in. I use Top Producer just because we're creating our own, but I use Top Producer. Create a specific follow-up plan with these people. Personal notes, follow-up phone calls. We do a client appreciation party every year. I started it 10 years ago. Now it's a concert because I like music a lot, and it's a benefit for the Capillary Food Bank. So it's called. I'll just share it with you real quick because this is kind of a cool idea. I learned it at a Howard Brinton seminar. They said have a party, and they were talking about a wine and cheese party, and I was like, so I sat down with my ex-wife now, and we threw ideas back and forth, and I was like, let's do a concert. She's like, oh, that's a good idea. And then we said, let's make it a benefit for the Capillary Food Bank. We invited all our people. We called it Rock and Restock. Pretty good name, right? Because we were going to restock the shelves of the Capillary Food Bank. 10 years later, it sells out every year. I have 350 people there. This year we raised almost $8,000 for the Capillary Food Bank. All of my clients buy tickets. They come. They have one thing in common. Yeah. Yeah. Lunches, a monthly newsletter, right? Email now for a newsletter, key. And then, just so you know, 99% of agents don't keep in touch. Okay. Brave soul here. He doesn't even know what we're going to do right now. But the idea is, when you learn the script, I want you just to read it word for word, right? So on the 7-point conversion method, there's the 7th point. It's called closing for the appointment. It's the most important thing in the world. So this is the script. He's going to read it to me. Basically, what we've done is, let's just say we've been at an open house, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm looking for a home, and you know, I've given you all the criteria about it, and I don't really have an agent that's working for me. So what do you think?"
Well, Chad, based on the information that you've given me, here's what I suggest we do.
Okay.
Let's set up a time to get together at my office. We'll go through the home buying process, do a complete market overview of the areas that you're looking to buy in, and then set up a time to go find a new place. I have time tomorrow or Friday. Which day works for you?
Excellent. Now focus completely, because I'm going to ask you to do it without the phone in just a second. Do it one more time. Read it to me. So yeah, I'm looking for a house. I don't really have an agent with, So what do you think I should do?
Well, Chad, based on the information that you have given me, here is what I suggest we do. Let's set up a time to get together at my office. We will go through the home buying process, do a complete market overview of the areas that you were looking to buy in, and then set up a time to go find.
Oh, dang it. Set up a time.
I have time tomorrow or Friday. Which day works for you?
Got it?
No. Absolutely.
Okay, so focus, right? It's about the home buying process, complete market overview. Let's set up a time at my office, Friday, Thursday or Friday, okay? So now, he hasn't totally memorized this, so when we're done, we're gonna cheer his song. Okay, so yeah, I don't have an agent. I'd love to buy a house, and everything.
Well, Chad, here's what I suggest we do. Let's spend some time together and go through the home buying process.
Okay.
I'll tell you about the market and give you a brief market view,
Yeah. Okay.
market overview of what's going on.
Great.
And I can set up some time tomorrow. What time works for you?
7 o'clock.
Okay, let's do it.
So he's armed now, right? I've got this tool belt that I use, and I've got these scripts that I've learned and studied, and now they come out of me like they're natural. So scripts and dialogues will help lead you to make the sale. Okay? So for all of you, those that hate you, all those that hate you. For all of you that hate scripts, if you want to master lead conversion, if you want to be the highest paid in the world what you do. If you want to even be like in the top 10%, then scripts and dialogues. Use this technique. Buyer and seller information sheets. Who knows the sticky note method of lead capture? Sticky note method, right? They call in, you're like, oh, Jim Johnson, 750-8333, and then all of a sudden you're like, where did I put Jim's number? And it's gone, right? So what we utilize is we utilize seller information sheet and buyer information sheet. This is lead capture. And these basically go through and it asks pertinent questions about the home seller or the home buyer. And what I do is, as I'm on the phone with them, our home buyer sheet goes through the 7-point conversion method. Our home seller sheet asks them all kinds of great questions that when I go into an appointment with a seller, I'm prepared. I know exactly what they paid for the home, what they owe on the home, what they want to get as far as a price on the home, and then I ask this question. Let me ask you a question, Mrs. Seller. What are the top 3 things you'll be looking for from me as your agent? That's a great question to go in armed with when you're dealing with a seller that may be talking to multiple people. Would you agree? Say yes.
Yes.
So, before I get out and go into my listing appointment, the last thing I look at is what are those top 3 things. They may say honesty, availability, open houses. Guess what I'm going to talk about as I'm touring the house, right? I'm talk about honesty, I'm going to talk about availability, I'm going to talk about my team and the fact that they take care of so many things for me that it frees me up to be really available to my clients. And they're going, that's what we're looking for, right? So use these. And then objection handling. Know what the objections are. Phil, I might suggest this. I don't know if you have sales meetings. We do what's called an objection firing line. So what we do is we have a specific objection. Maybe it's price, maybe it's commission, maybe whatever it is. And each week at our sales meeting, what we'll do is just for like 2 minutes, we'll get everyone uncomfortable, and we'll make them stand up, and they'll stand looking at each other, and then they will give the objection. One person is the seller or the buyer, one person is the agent, and they give it and they practice. And you just practice over and over. Objection handling is a key skill. Master that. There's some objection handling CDs by my first coach, Dirk Zeller, that are amazing. Most things I do are a script. If you went on 10 listing appointments with me, you would hear the same stupid jokes at the same point in every presentation. It's very systematic the way that we do things. And then study and implement professional presentation techniques. Be impeccable with your work. How many of you talk to yourself in here? Me too. So, I'm going to come back to talking to yourself, but talking to other people and the words that you say are important. Okay? There's a book. It's called The 4 Agreements by a guy named Don Miguel Ruiz. Buy it, read it. The first chapter is about being impeccable with your words. But what I mean by this in terms of a selling situation is so many agents are like, I'm a great BSer. You know, that's why I'm a good salesperson. I'm a great BSer. When I go into a listing appointment or a buyer appointment, I'm laser beam focused, right? Remember, focus is my superpower. So, every word that comes out of my mouth is, you know, there's a little play in there, right? Rapport building, things of that nature. But every word is, I don't want to waste words. So every word that I use, I think about, and it leads me to the closing of the sale. So don't be one of those salespeople that's always just, you know, yeah, we're going to put sun in the yard, we're going to, you know, hopefully get some people to. Be impeccable with your words. Understand what you're saying and how it's leading them to make the decision to work with you. So I was on a listing appointment with my first ever listing agent, right? I had a bunch of buyer's agents, and then I decided to bring one over to the listing side. And I taught her how to present to CMA. I taught her my system. I taught her everything. And we got to this appointment. I was going to watch, right? I I was just going to be there and watch her. Imagine that. And we got to the door, and we knocked on the door, and we opened the door, and the seller's there, and she's like, "Hey, I'm Lori." This is my agent. "Hi, I'm Lori. What's your name?" "Okay." "Hi, I'm Chad."
Hi, Chad.
And then I stood there, and I was like, I forgot to teach her how to take control of the situation. You're the leader. You're the leader when you go into a selling situation like that. Take control immediately. So I utilize some techniques. The first thing, just so you know, I'm very systematic. I think you're getting that. But when I go to a listing appointment, what I do is I pull up, I turn the car off, I get my pen in my pocket, I put my phone in my pocket, I turn it to off. I say to myself 3 times, "You're the best at what you do, you're the best at what you do, you're the best at what you do. You will walk out of here with a signed listing agreement." I get out of my car, I walk up to the house. As I walk up to the house, I notice something I can compliment them on. I knock on the door 3 times, I start looking around. They come to the door, they open the door, they say hello, I say hello back, I say, "I'm going to take my stuff and I'm going to set it at the kitchen table. That's where we'll meet." Sound good? Excellent. Take control immediately. That's what I call the kitchen table coup, right? Either the kitchen table or the dining room. You need to take control immediately and get them used to taking direction from you. I also utilize what are called tie downs. Tie downs, who knows Tom Hopkins in here? Okay, if you haven't read How to Master the Art of Selling, I suggest it. For those of you that want to be Master Jedi Knights, legendary agents, best in the world. He uses what are called tie downs. Tie downs are simply a question hung at the end of a sentence that demands a yes. There's also internal tie downs and front-loaded tie downs if you want to mix them up and become a master. But tie downs basically are questions at the end of a sentence that demand a yes. I want people to say yes to me, right?
Yes.
I want people to say yes to me, right?
Yes.
Because my goal is within the first 5 minutes I'm there, I want them to say yes to me 6 times. Okay? And I'm going to do it with little tie downs, right? And some of you are going like, "Gosh, this guy's kind of manipulative." No, I want, what do I believe I am? The best in the world at what I do. What do I think will happen if they work with someone else? They'll get hurt. So what do I need to be? Incredible. So I master these little things. I want 6 yeses out of them within the first 5 minutes. So I ask them, I'm like, "Beautiful trees outside, aren't they?" Just think about it, practice it, right? There's about 20 different tie downs, aren't they? Isn't it? Right? There's even non-verbal tie downs, right? I can look at them. They're like, non-verbal. That's. So then I take a tour of the house. I lead the tour. I set my stuff down at the kitchen table. I say, "All right, we're going to take a tour of the house." I go back to the front door so I can get the full feel and the flow of the house. And take that, and as I'm on that tour, right, I'm not saying, "Geez, pick up the dog crap, you know, clean up your kids' clothes, dust this thing. Holy crap, we're going to try and sell this." Focus on the good things. Sell the house to that seller. Show them your skills. Right? So as I'm going through the house, I'm selling that property to the seller. I'm like, gorgeous tall ceilings, beautiful crown molding, amazing windows. This place is awesome. I can't wait to help you get it sold. When I get done with that, I say, "Looks awesome. Let's go back downstairs and let's talk about how we can get it sold." Sound good?
Yes.
We go back down, we get to the table. Whether I'm thirsty or not, I always ask, "Hey, please have a glass of water." What do they say?
Yes.
Okay. So that's me. So if you want to be legendary, if you want to be really good, record your presentation. I hired a guy about 6 years ago. His name's Rory Vaden. Guy is amazing. He is a speaker, teacher, and a coach. And I hired him to help me to become a more impactful person when I shared ideas with people, which means a better speaker. He said, okay, Chad, I want you to record your presentations. When you record them, I want you to watch them. So the first time you watch them, I want you to watch them with the volume off. Look at your body language. What are you doing with your hands? How are you moving? What what is your face doing? Are you smiling enough? Are you walking around too much? Watch your body language. Second way to watch it is then with your back turned. Listen to your vocal variety, right? There's 4 different quadrants of vocal variety for talking. And all of them do different things to an audience. I'm not going to share that with you right now because I don't fully remember it. But they're loud and slow, which is authoritative. And then there's lecture. Then you watch it regular for your content, your overall performance. Okay? Jedi Knight, Legendary Master. Critique it, improve it. Okay? So, master your craft, build a lead generation machine, have a business plan, solid vision, clear goals. Next is build your infrastructure, right? Okay, almost done. A few more minutes. But it's about to get good. So, in order to be at a higher level, right? I need people to take care of stuff for me, right? Like for me, you heard in my vision, in my utopia, that basically I had incredible people surrounding me that handled stuff, right? That's called leverage. Leverage. Like, honestly, I don't want to enter a listing in the multiple listing service. I haven't done that for 15 years. I don't create the flyers. I help with the marketing copy, but I don't create the flyers. My job is what? Lead generation. Sell. Sorry. What's my job? Sell. So you want to create systems and processes, right? Systems and processes help you to lead generate more. So we have a listing system. Every single time I list a home, it's listed the exact same way. I've been doing it this way for almost 10 years. The sign goes in the yard 2 weeks prior to the home going to market. It's pre-marketed. The temporary flyers go out. I call all the other top agents that work in the area. I let them know the property's coming on the market. The property is pre-inspected and staged. 2 days prior to the property going to multiple listing service, the virtual tour and picture company comes in the house. They take all the pictures. The day before it goes on the market, I go back over, I look at the house, make sure that it's in great condition. Thursday morning, it goes in the multiple listing service. By Friday afternoon, the flyers are at the property. Friday by 3 p.m., the Open Sunday sign goes out. It says Open Sunday 1 to 4 p.m. Hopefully we're getting a bunch of people through the house. Saturday and Sunday, they see the Open Sunday sign on. Sunday from 1 to 4, myself or one of my top agents hold the home open. Sunday night, hopefully we're looking at offers. That's utopia in a home sale for me. That's a system, right? So it's very easy. Now I can teach and train and repeat that process to my other agents. And if you want to go to the highest level, systematize things. Buyer and seller guides I talked about. Transaction management. I believe in assistants. I have about 3 of them that help me with the listing of the property, the closing of the point. Want to share an assistant. And again, I don't know what level you're at, so this just depends on what level you're at, right? CRM, customer relationship management, your database, your top producer system with Diamond Realty, they have their own. And then agent training systems. So as I started bringing on agents, I needed to teach and train them to do things like I did them, because I knew that was successful. So now we have very specific systems. We're going to be talking with Phil actually about potentially implementing some of those for you up here. We'll talk about that more in a minute. So systems and processes. When and who you hire, the first person you hire is always admin, right? They handle the paperwork, the listing coordination, the closing coordination, the database management, customer service. Takes those less dollar predictive activities and takes them off you. So, and that allows, when I did that, when I wanted to go to the next level, I just took the things off me that weren't super dollar productive, and then I did, the challenge is that pushes you more to do the lead generation. So now I've got free time, I've got to lead generate. I've got to lead generate. To me, my time is not well spent going to the gas station. I would prefer someone else do that for me. I'd prefer that someone else get my car washed. My thought process is, I want to take as much off of me, and I want to be able to produce and impact more people through what I'm really good at. So you start to leverage yourself. And then you hire agents, right? Once you get to a certain level, if you focus on listings, right? Any great agent will focus on listings. Because the more signs I have out, the more leads I create, right? I can handle 30 to 50 listings at once potentially, right? Or 10, or 5, or 8. But I can only handle probably about 3 or 4, or 5 or 6 maybe buyers, right? Because I got to be in the car all the time. So you want to focus on listings, and when you focus on listing and you create so many leads coming in, right? Then you need someone else to handle those leads. So first you hire the admin and you start lead generating, and then you hire the agents to handle the leads coming in, and you train, you teach them. You teach them your systems, your scripts and dialogues, your market knowledge, how to gain it, open houses, lead conversion, right? Contracts, customer service, and you're giving them your leads, and that's your money, right? So, you want to teach them to be master lead converters, just like you are, right? Lead conversion is key. Did I say that?
Yes.
So did Phil. Lead conversion is key, because if you're not good at lead conversion, then it doesn't matter how many leads you create. It doesn't matter. So you master that lead conversion, and then you teach other people how to master lead conversion, and then you hand the leads to them. And then you take a portion of that, and then you keep growing it that way. That's how I got to 543 sales. I didn't personally do 543 sales. That would have been awesome, but I wouldn't have had a life. This gives you a life. Leverage gives you a life. My life is very balanced right now. I love to work. I'm very passionate about what I do, but I have a lot of fun too. I've got 3 children. I'm a single dad. I see a lot of music. I have a lot of fun, and and then I work and I do what I'm passionate about. But that's because I have great people. Okay. So have a solid vision and clear goals. Build a lead generation machine. Create powerful presentations, build your infrastructure, and then develop your mindset and attitude. Phil and Mike and Melinda and I spent probably 2 hours together last night, and the overarching theme of the entire conversation, the thing that I believe Phil, is most passionate about is leadership development. Would you agree with that, sir?
Absolutely.
Okay. Leadership is key. I was sharing with him, I was like, when I was growing up in this business, I was 24, 25, 26 years old. I was a bartender. I had no college degree. I had a messed up childhood. I had goofy stuff that happened. Some of you may have, right? I needed to change who I was so I could lead at a high level and do what I started to envision what I could do with my life, right? So this is like, if there's anything else that's more important to me in the world than this, it's my kids. But having a great mindset, an incredible attitude, and being a great leader that makes a positive impact on the lives of the people around, that's what's important to me. That's what I was born to do. Money is great and stuff, but I wanna be a legendary leader, right? It's exciting to me, and I love seeing it in my children now. I was watching this is kind of a aside, but my son the other day was playing football. It's his first year of tackle football, and he plays middle linebacker. So he's in his little shirt on the back of it. It says Goldwasser, and it's even like Goldwasser colors, red and black. And I'm like, that's a killer. Took this little shot of him, and I'm like, oh man, I love this kid. And he's like crushing it out there. He's like an energy ball. He's awesome. Super proud of him. But even what I was more proud about was that every single time someone was down on the ground, he lifted them up. And after the plays, he'd pat him on the butt. He'd be like, good job. That made me proud. That is what I want to instill, is that leadership, that encouragement, right? So this is important. And this is our last point, okay? So we got about 10 more minutes. But I want you to really focus right now. Because I'm going to share with you paradigm shifts that occurred in my life. How do you go from earning $2.17 an hour to having a month where you make $180,000? It's a paradigm shift. So I already talked about this, but there's nothing more important to me than energy and attitude. When I got to number one with Keller Williams, people were like, how do you do it? What is the key? And I said, massively positive energy and an incredible attitude. And they'd be like, seriously, what is it? Massively positive energy and an incredible attitude. So we had this conversation we did last night, and Phil was telling me the story about this guy and his dog, and how the dog got kicked and when he peed on the floor. And I'm probably going to screw up the story, but you'll get the point. That's what's important. It's like a script, you know. And so his friend came over, and his friend kicked the dog, and then after several weeks, you know, the dog's like cowering over in the corner, and he's like, don't kick me, right? He's like cowering away from people. And think of the way that you talk to yourself and what you say to yourself. And think of that dog. Are you kicking yourself so that you cower away from you people? Or are you putting thoughts and things in your mind that help you to become who you really could become? So that's what this is about. Planting seeds in your mind that will help you to change your life. Because I want happiness, and I want joy, and I want to feel good about myself, and I know when I do, I'm more productive. So when I started with James, he gave me this book. He was my mentor and my rainmaker. I went to work as a buyer's agent for him. He gave me a book. It was called 30 Days to Success. And in that book, it had different tasks, between 20 to 40 tasks, every single day. And I know I'm going to get emails about where you can find this 30 Days to Success book, but the truth is, I don't think it's in print anymore. In that book, every single day, what it started with, I had to go through and I had to read through 25 affirmations. And then I had to sit down for 10 minutes and I had to visualize myself writing deals up on the board and getting checks. And then I had to write in a notebook. This is no BS, by the way. Write in a notebook 25 times, I will enjoy success through selling 4 homes per month. And I was like, this is kind of weird. But I did it anyway. And I stuck with the affirmations and been putting things in my head. And before I move any further into this, I just want to share with you sort of an analogy about this, right? Because we all know, right, we have a conscious mind, right? That's what you're thinking right now. You're like, you have thoughts in your head. You're all talking to yourself, right? And then your conscious mind is very small. It's like an ant, right? You have a subconscious mind. It's like an elephant. It's huge, massive. And if in your conscious mind, the ant, okay, think of it this way. The ant is on the back of the elephant, right? And the ant is saying, I want to make $100,000 this year. And the elephant is saying, you're a bartender. You have no college degree. Your parents got divorced, you got a screwed up childhood, you don't deserve that. Elephant's walking this way. Who's gonna win? The elephant, right? So the idea is you want to get the ant and the elephant moving in the same direction. So I utilize some tools, right? I utilize attitude tools, and what I did was as I grew up in the business, I never quit utilizing visualization. And if you think about it this way, we all know if we go to the gym, right, it's good for us, correct? And so let's just say we haven't gone to the gym in a year, and we go back to the gym, and we do a set of curls. And after the first day, you know, you're like, oh, nothing's happening yet. But then after, you do about like 5 minutes on curls. And then after like a week, you're like, oh, I'm getting a little stronger. And then after about a month, you're spending like 20 minutes on your biceps, right? It's probably good. I'm just like you. I want to look good. After 30 days, all of a sudden you're like, damn, I'm looking good. I'm getting strong. And your mind is like the most important muscle in your body, and yet 96.85% of people in this world never exercise and strengthen their mind. And so they go through these ups and downs and these, I go through challenging times, but the idea is I want to create a more level. So this is what I do. I utilize, number one thing, my wake-up thought. Remember me sharing this with you earlier? It's very simple. It's the first thought that I think before I get out of bed in the morning. You can implement this tomorrow. This is the easiest thing to implement. Just simply gets me on the right path to thinking in a positive way. So my wake-up thought is very simple. It's this. It's an awesome day, and I will positively impact the lives of everyone I touch today. It's the first thing I do. That's the first set in my mindset workout. The next thing is my affirmations. I have approximately 25 of them here, and this is about planting seeds in your subconscious mind. So instead of walking around and saying to myself, hey, you're not quite that good, I'm walking around saying, hey man, you're the best at what you do. You're a leader. You inspire others. You deserve everything that this life has to offer. You emit positive energy constantly. Because for 15 years, 16 and a half years, I've been planting these seeds in my subconscious mind. Now I believe anything's possible. There are no limits. So affirmations, and as you can see, what I did was I laminated mine, right? You want to surround yourself with them. I consider it brainwashing, right? I'm cleansing my head of all the negative thoughts, right? They still pop in, believe me. I still have challenging moments. I still have lots of challenges, but they're far fewer. And I can keep a more positive mindset. And when I talk about this, sometimes it's like, how does this translate into money? How it translates into money is when 99.9% of the deal is challenging, there's only 0.01% that I focus on, and I get everyone else focused on it. So that's how it translates into money. So I surround myself with them. I don't know if you ever saw Stuart Smalley, but he looked in the mirror and he was like, I'm good enough, I'm strong enough, gosh darn it, people like me. Sometimes looking at yourself in the eyes, like deep into your soul, and just saying, hey man, you're a good person. You're a leader. You're doing things to impact people. It's powerful. I keep them everywhere. I surround myself with them. And the idea is to create a constant stream of positive affirmations, right? So I keep them in my shower. I keep them everywhere. The only reason I still keep this in here is because I was giving this presentation to about 4,000 people at Keller Williams in about 6 or 7 years ago. And my buddy's sitting in the audience, and I'm talking about attitude and mindset. I popped this up, just because I thought it was funny, and so people are laughing. And my buddy's sitting next to these two women, and the one woman looks to the other woman, and she's like, nice tile. Okay, so wake up thought. Wake up thought, affirmations, right? By the time I get to Starbucks, I'm excited, right? People are attracted to that. I meet a lot of people. The next thing I go through is my why. So my why, Gary Keller talks about this. I don't have time to explain exactly what it is, but if you go to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, he talks about creating a big why. And so in 2004, I sat down and I created my why, and this is just the next exercise. It reminds me of why I'm getting up early and doing what I want to do. So I'll share mine with you, okay? Is that okay? Yes. Okay. So I'm doing what I'm doing because God gave me the tools and presented me the opportunity to make a huge difference in this world. I have the ability to be the best at what I do because I understand it. I have a major passion for it. I'm a student of it, and I have absolute and utter belief in myself and my team. I want my children and all of my family to have total freedom of choice to do what they want to do. I want to give back to those who love me, support me, and believe in me so that they may live a life they never thought possible. I want to create positive change as much as I can and make the world a better place. I will always strive to be the very best that I can. But most of all, I want my family to be proud of who I am. So, it's powerful. It reminds me every single day of why I'm getting up and why I'm doing this. Because what we do is not easy. Your why. Focus on your goals and your steps. I talked about that, having that in front of you. And then lastly is this training your, almost lastly. Focus on training your subconscious. I utilize this Gold Star process. So the guy that I learned the analogy of the ant and the elephant from is a guy named Vince Vicente. He lives here in Dallas. He's amazing. Saw him speak at a convention in 2004, and he had this idea that he wanted to train his subconscious mind, and he wanted to become an Olympic gold medal skier, and so he took these dots, these little gold dots, and he put them all over his field of vision. And every time he saw them, he said to himself, I am an Olympic gold medal skier. So at the end of the day, he said this to himself like 100 times. And he's planting these seeds in his subconscious mind. So then when you're saying to yourself over and over, I am an Olympic gold medal skier, what's it going to push you to do, right? I'm going to have to work my butt off. So I put these things all around my life. One of my big goals is to be a #1 New York Times bestseller. So I will put these gold stars everywhere, and just, every time I see it, I'm a #1 New York Times bestselling author. I am a #1 New York Times bestselling author. I am a #1 New York Times bestselling author. I am a #1 New York Times bestselling author. I am a #1 New York Times bestselling author. So over and over, and then that pushes me to get up at 5 a.m. and do some reading and do some writing and start building that other aspect of my life. And start believing that I can actually become that. So whatever your goal is, you attach this gold star to it, and you put them all around you, and you train your mind to believe, right? Creating a vision. We talked about it last night. You're creating this vision. And then lastly is to have a personal growth plan. I learned this from a guy named John Maxwell. Books, CDs, seminars, coaching, accountability. Have a personal growth plan. Most people don't plan out their personal growth, they just hope they grow. Reading changed my life. I mean, the books I've read, the seminars I've attended, the people I've met, when I was depressed and pissed off and angry, and I didn't care about learning anymore, and I was it was like hurt. Now, learning, growth, #1, forefront of my life. Because in order to reach my vision, I have to learn and grow. Create a business and life plan, build a lead generation machine, master your craft, build your infrastructure, develop your mindset and attitude. So most people, you have the opportunity to be great or you have the opportunity to be good. Most people won't do what it takes to be great. When you choose to be great, when you choose to lead an incredible life, it's amazing what can happen. I mean, it's awesome. And I want that for all of you. That's why I came up here today. That's why Melinda invited me up here today. I want to leave you, and before I share this with you, I want to challenge you to take something from this, right? And Phil and I are going to be talking more about potentially creating a program that might help you guys if you're willing to step up and you want to take your business to the next level. Some of you might not want to. Some of you may think this is crazy, I'm crazy, whatever. But we're going to do everything we can to help you get to another level, because that's my goal. That's why this is called the next level. Okay? So I was on a panel last week for an event in Austin. It's called Austin Young Real Estate Professionals. And they asked a question. What specific attributes separate a good agent from a great agent? Okay? And this is what I want to leave you with. This is what I wrote. I was excited about it. A good real estate agent will set up a search for a buyer in the multiple listing service, put them on an email drip. They will hope that something pops up for their buyers that they want to see, and then they'll go and show it. They'll fill out the offer paperwork. They'll do their best to represent their clients. They'll put a yard sign in a yard. They'll do what needs to be done and what really has to be done. A great agent, a legendary, amazing agent, will constantly study and learn the market. They will look at trends. They will preview properties and study a neighborhood till they know it like the back of their hand. They will not only look at the price ranges in the homes for sale, but they will know every park, every school, where the grocery store is at, and everything they can know to help their clients in a powerful way. They will be very informed about all of the neighborhoods in the areas that they work, so that they can help their clients to make smart decisions about where they should live, because it's important. They will read and find out about the employment rates and jobless rates, interest rates, and all things that can affect the prices of homes and the investment their clients are making. They practice scripts and dialogues. They master their presentations. They know their contracts inside and out, so they can protect their clients and explain things in an easy and understandable way. They get up early and they work their butts off all day long, creating opportunity and doing the tasks that matter most and impact their people in a positive way. They create marketing strategies that set themselves apart and that set their clients' homes apart from the crowd. They are passionate about this business. They serve people with all their hearts. They care deeply. They do open houses. They prospect. They market. They keep in touch with their past clients and friends. They are leaders. They have an unquenchable thirst to learn and grow and become the best that they can become. They smile a lot. And they make the people around them feel good. They treat people like gold. Not just the people that are their clients, but everybody that they meet. Their title companies, their lenders, people they meet at the grocery store. They treat people like they're worth something. They do not talk negatively about others, and they do not gossip. They realize that everyone has challenges and issues and struggles, so they do their best to be a lifter of people. That's what separates a good agent from a legendary, super amazing, incredible agent.